Damage step, Kalut effect.
Aye. Subscribe.
Darkwing Blast is creeping towards the TCG, and this set is a very good follow-up to Power of the Elements. There's a lot of good cards in there, but today we are specifically going to be looking at everyone's favorite Blackwings. But first, click this button. So this wave of Blackwing support has a very interesting focus, and that is to introduce Blackwinged Dragon to the sort of main strategy of the deck. It's also very obtainable in terms of rarity overall, so we're just going to dive in at the deep end here and show you this very cool boss monster, Blackwinged Assault Dragon, which is also the cover card of the set, which is really cool. But this is a level 10 ultra rare synchro monster, which requires 1 tuner synchro monster and 1+ non-tuners. I love the design of this card's effect, is really cool, and it also has an alternate summoning condition, which is banishing 1 tuner synchro monster and 1 Blackwinged Dragon specifically from your face-up field and or graveyard. That's pretty easy to do when you take the entire wave of support into consideration, but its on-field effect is, each time your opponent activates a monster effect, place 1 black feather counter on this card when that effect resolves, and if you do, inflict 700 damage to your opponent. That is a continuous effect, and then on top of that, it has during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can tribute this card with 4 or more black feather counters on it, destroy all cards on the field. This is really cool because it gives your opponent an opportunity to deal with it early before actually getting to that nuke the board effect. But if they can't deal with it early, then they're losing lots and lots of life points and also opening themselves up to just getting completely destroyed. Obviously, you're probably wondering whether it's worth committing the resources to bringing out the original Blackwinged Dragon, but this new card, Blackwing Vata, the Emblem of Wandering, makes that very easy. Vata is a level 2 tuner and has the effect, if you control a Blackwing monster other than itself, you can special summon this card from your hand like many other Blackwing monsters. You can only special summon him once per turn this way, and during your main phase, you can send this card on the field to the graveyard along with 1 or more non-tuner Blackwing monsters from your deck, so that the total levels sent equal exactly 8, and if you do special summon 1 Blackwinged Dragon from your extra deck, also you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except Dark for the rest of this turn. Sending multiple Blackwings from the graveyard with graveyard effects that you can capitalize on is just crazy. For example, Zephyros the Elite is just an additional free body you can get. There's definitely a lot you can do with this effect, and with it only having 800 attack, that makes it very searchable through the likes of Black Whirlwind or even this new ultra rare Blackwing Sudri the Phantom Glimmer, level 4 normal summon for the deck. When this card is normal summoned, you can add any card that mentions Blackwinged Dragon from your deck to your hand except itself. So any monster, any spell, any trap, all it has to do is mention Blackwinged Dragon, which is basically every card in this set. It also has the effect you can tribute 1 monster, special summon 1 Phantom Glimmer token, which is a level 2 tuner, and then take 700 damage. However, if you do activate this effect, you can only summon synchro monsters for the entirety of that turn. So another nice dedicated normal summon for this strategy, but we also have a new hand interruption like Kalut as well. Here we have Blackwing Chinook the Snowblast, level 2, not sprite support, just saying. Only 100 attack, so you're basically always going to be able to search this off of Black Whirlwind, and this has the effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Send a Blackwing Synchro monster or 1 Blackwinged Dragon from your extra deck to the graveyard, and if you do, until the end of this turn, the targeted monster loses 700 attack. Also negate its effects. It says negate, so it's a good card. It's also a quick effect if you control a Dark Synchro monster. So going first, you can get set up and keep this in hand to interrupt your opponent on their turn, or going second, you can use this to negate an opponent's monster, while also setting up the ability to summon your boss monster by getting the materials in the graveyard. Next up, we have this cute little fella, Blackwing Shamal the Sandstorm, level 4 tuner. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, place 1 Black Feather Whirlwind from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone. Black Feather Whirlwind is the new spell in this set, we'll get to that in a second. Continuing on with the effect though, we have if a Blackwing Synchro monster or Blackwinged Dragon is special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, except during a damage step, you can banish this card, then target 1 Blackwing monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand, then take 700 damage. It's graveyard effects like this that are exactly why Vata is such a good card to just dump these monsters from the deck. Rounding off the main deck monsters in this wave of support, we have probably one of my favorite artworks of the new cards, and that is Blackwing Zonda the Dusk, a level 6 monster. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except synchro monsters while this is on the field. You can only use one of the following effects of Zonda the Dusk per turn, and only once that turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one monster on the field, return it to the hand. So a very nice piece of interruption there if you are going second. Also, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one level 5 or higher Blackwing monster from your hand or deck, then take damage equal to its attack. So already you can start to piece together some really nice one-card combos. For example, normal summon Sudri, which can then search the Vata, special summon the Vata, activate the effect, dump Zonda for the Blackwing Dragon, then we can still just special summon from the deck, and continue from there. Next up in our selection of cards here, we have Blackwing Borea Storm the Wicked Wind. That is a crazy name. Level 6 Synchro Tuner. If this card is synchro summoned, you can send one Blackwing monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card's level becomes the same as that monster's. So we're already setting up additional synchro plays while getting more resources in the graveyard. When this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can banish one Blackwing monster from your graveyard or face up field except the destroyed monster, special summon the destroyed monster to your field in defense position. You can only use each effect once per turn. So typically this is the synchro tuner that you're going to be banishing for grave to special summon out the Blackwinged Assault Dragon. But moving on to the spells and traps now, we have Black Feather Whirlwind, the new Black Whirlwind. Once per turn, if you special summon a Dark Synchro monster from the extra deck, except during the damage step, you can target one of your Blackwing monsters or Blackwinged Dragon that is banished or in your graveyard with less attack than that special summon monster, special summon it. So a nice free reborn there, giving you an additional body to continue comboing off with, is very nice. But also we have once per turn, if a dark monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can remove one Black Feather counter from your field instead. This makes it even harder for your opponent to deal with your Blackwinged Assault Dragon with that protection, so yeah, very nice. Next up we have a trap card, Blackwing Twin Shadow. Shuffle two of your Blackwing monsters, one tuner and one non-tuner, that are banished and or in your graveyard into the deck / extra deck. Special summon one Blackwing Synchro monster or Blackwinged Dragon from your extra deck whose level equals the total levels of those two monsters. So you're essentially synchro summoning during the battle phase or on your opponent's turn here. If you control two or more Blackwing monsters, you can activate this card from your hand. And finally here we have a nice counter trap for the deck, Black Shadow Squall. When a spell or trap card is activated, remove one Black Feather counter from your field. Negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If you control Blackwinged Dragon, you can set this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. So having this spell or trap negate essentially kind of forces your opponent into using the monster effects, allowing you to then gain further counters on your Blackwinged Assault Dragon. Then if that's already too much for your opponent, you can then just snowball by bringing it back with that recursion effect in the graveyard on your next turn. So overall, a very nice set of Blackwing cards that breathes some additional life into the deck, giving it that extra playability as an archetype overall, which is always really nice to see, especially for a fan favorite like this. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. I am going to be opening 2 early boxes of Darkwing Blast on the channel this coming Friday, so subscribe and stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Adios.